Everything. We're back again, guys. The SAUTI za MASHARIKI podcast. Now tuko na guest leo.
Yep, Nick
WAMBUGU. Yes sir.
Ukiniona hapa ile close nimekuwa ni close kwa hizi bus stations, train stations. I always have like 10 minutes allowance of getting lost and 10 minutes allowance of asking people, do you know this place? Do you know this place?
Na leo umesema kuna umepatana na Wakenya.
So now today, so I was leaving the house, alafu so the person I'm staying with, a friend of mine, ameniambia vizuri, end up under number 174, itakufikisha hapa. Me, I took a picture of like the phone and everything. I can do screenshots. Lifka heavy bus stop, I saw 5 red buses. I was like, no way, man. Okay.
Which one is it?
Which one is it? 174, 173, 103. Then I didn't get confused. Then so I've been asking like just random guys. So of course I saw a random black guy, you know. Then I went, hey, Niaje, hi, I'm lost. I just landed. I'm meeting a friend of mine. What's the direction? Then he was like, where are you from? I said Nairobi. Then he was like, wapi?
From there, the
guy said wapi kajoa umenishika. And me I said something like best yangu ananingoja hapa. Then he was like, umetoka wapi? I said Nairobi. Then he was like, nimetoka Kiambu. Then he was like, from hapo ilikuwa okay, ni vibes.
That's it.
Worst case scenario, nipeleke kwako. Nipeleke kwako. Worst case scenario, I'm going with you. Yeah, and then finally, met Kangende, nimeshukia kwa stop, and now we are here.
Now we're about to go record. Yep. Yeah, I mean, just cutting through. What do you think of the London so far? The UK, your stay?
London is amazing. I always say if there is somewhere I would live outside Africa, I would say it's gonna be London. I mean, I've done, this kind of big cities, especially me as a filmmaker, you know, LA. I've been to LA twice. That's the mecca of every filmmaker's dream. But for me, I feel like London is a place I would live comfortably. Of course, I'm a city person, so I love the speed here and there. But most importantly is also the culture. There's a culture, even LA, however much LA is big, New York is fast and all of that. Here the culture here is as equivalent as the culture in Nairobi, whether it's the street names, whether it's the people, whether, you know, it's the small things, how people talk, so you feel like you aren't lost. You're somewhere in Nairobi, a bigger city than Nairobi. So you don't feel kind of very lost. And like at the bus stop I met a guy from Kiambu. So in LA you can't meet someone from Kiambu, but you can't get lost more than 20 minutes without finding a Kenyan. So this is it's a place for Kenyans. It's an extension. Nio chaya Kenya ya maju.
I like that.
Nio chaya Kenya ya maju. So nimekam tu chaya maju. Yep. So I'm happy. I'm happy with London, and it's so vibrant, and I love like the Kenyans I've met here, pushing their stuff. Wase huku tu ni kujituma. That's the main thing. Wase watu wanajituma, and it's a nice place. I love it.
Nice. We're gonna go in the studio right now. We're just pulling up. We're gonna chop it up some more, find out more about the journey, what he's been up to, the plans. Yes, brother, right. And then man, stay tuned. SAUTI za MASHARIKI. Boop. We're inside. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. We appreciate you tuning in. As I said before, this is SAUTI za MASHARIKI podcast. You know, East African music, East African culture. Just pushing the scene forward, what we can do, you know. And obviously, we got another special guest on today, you know. Meaning to meet for a long time. Years. I've known about you and your work, and finding out more about you as the years have gone by. But we finally made it happen, man.
Yeah, Wagwan.
This is Nick KWANDA.
Nice one. Wagwan. That's
my guy.
Nice.
Yeah, finally made it. For guys who don't know who you are, who don't know what you've been up to, let us know, man. Who's Nick KWANDA, and what's your thing, man? What's your thing?
So my name is Nick KWANDA. I am a filmmaker, a creative, but I consider myself a storyteller.
Okay.
I'm a storyteller, and I use different elements to tell stories.
Yes.
But for me, mostly is the visual element, which is film. So I'm a filmmaker, I'm a director, producer, cinematographer, and a drone pilot.
Yes.
So I started out as a drone pilot, then then all of these things kind of morphed much later.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I tell stories. That's my main thing.
That's your thing,
yeah, that's my main thing. Yeah,
That's so interesting. That's so dope, because you saying that you started as a drone pilot. People generally get into the industry first, and then they discover these other elements of drones and cameras and gimbals and that. So how did you jump into that drone first? Was it a thing like?
So even the drone thing was that was the starting of me behind the camera.
Okay.
Because I started out as I would say. I mean, I was speaking with someone the other day who asked me the same question, and
it's an interesting path.
Yeah, I mean, I started out as a performer.
Okay.
So like I remember myself. I mean, I could say I used to perform kwa kitambo, but like from 2012 when I was in my second year in uni. So I used to love like acting. Like I just had a thing with acting. I loved acting. So I used to hustle at KNT when I'm not in school. Now I was in JKUAT. I was studying computer science there. So when I'm not in JKUAT, I'm always in Tao, like going to check auditions, just to do plays. I just loved performing and acting.
Okay.
And then fast forward, I met this guy called Humphrey. He used to run a production company called ISIS Media. It's called Humphrey Karaoke. So I met him. Yeah, we became friends, and I was just interested with just the creative elements. You're in school, you don't have anything to lose.
Yeah.
You don't need money. You just need to go. Like if you're not in school, you're at his place.
Try something.
Just sing whatever this guy is doing. Yeah. So now this guy, he used to work at an advertising agency. Then he had left. It was Canada. Then he left and he was doing his own thing. So at that point he was doing a show on TV.
Okay.
It was a show called Raya.
Okay.
So Raya used to be a satire comedy show that used to come every day. Just before news, like on prime time. So 6:55, it was like a 7 minutes comedy thing. Just before news at 6:55, 6:54, and 8:54 just before the 9 prime. Yeah, exactly. So Raya for the longest, everyone knows Raya. I mean, it used to be funny. It used to be hosted by two guys, Mwafrika and Rapture.
Yes.
So now there was a time Mwafrika and Rapture, they weren't there for like some 2 months. And since I used to always be in his studio and stuff like that and like his stuff, then one day I was like, yo, can you do this? And I was like, yeah, I'm down. I mean, it was a comedy show, so I think he saw a sense of comedy that I have. By being with him, like I got to know, like, just the whole idea of being creative and stuff like that. So Raptor and Mwafrika like kind of went for a break. Then now I was like, yo, can you do this show? And I was like, yeah, I'm down. Then it was like, do you know any other comedians who you think you can vibe with, so that so like for me on the show I was representing Mwafrika, the voice of reason, because Raptor on the show is the guy who like now gives the opposite funny BS and stuff like that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So now I had a friend from high school who's funny, is a comedian and stuff like that, pretty much like Rapture. So he's called Bluetooth, like that's his stage name, and my stage name was Msosi. So now it was the new show was Raya, but now Msosi and Bluetooth. So now we did that show for like some 2 months. It used to come daily on telly. So now I was in second year around that time, so doing that, now it gave me that edge of like, this is like how the industry looks like now, or this is how the creative industry looks like. Exactly. I started now to see things, how things are working, how things are operating. Then fast forward, the show ended. I was still now working with Hamfo, just seeing how he's doing like his stuff. Back to school, finished my uni 2013 December, graduated in 2014. Then 2014 to 2015. Now I studied computer science, so I was working I got a job as a programmer and a web designer and a networking management in one of the companies, one of the insurance companies. But I felt like my passion was pretty much at that point was like being a creative. I think now being put in that element, now it opened the creative element in me. So I was like, this is the thing I want. I mean, I wasn't feeling, the insurance job I was doing for some reason, So yeah, so one day, so 2015, so I got that job like in 2014 after graduation. I did, I think, for like some months. Then in 2015, so one day a friend of mine called Maurice sent me like a link thing. Like it was something like, anyone who wants to like go to Italy and learn filmmaking, this is a link, just apply. Like a very weird link. And it was around those times where any link can be like can be a false link.
Could be shady.
Yeah, extremely. So me, I'm like, I don't know why. I mean, I'm very cautious. Like where
and
going
you have IT background.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I'm very cautious. But weirdly for this thing, I mean, when my friend Maurice sent me this link, I was like, let me just go with it. So I tapped the link. Went next, put your name, next. So yeah, and it was like, so the whole idea was like, there was a program in Italy, a summer program for filmmakers who want to go and like learn filmmaking and study filmmaking and stuff like that. So I applied, sent my bio, and I mean, my bio was pretty much, I mean, by that time I was like 15, I was 24 years old. So my bio was pretty much what I had done in Raya. And after Raya, I mean, we used to do like with Humphrey, since he's from an advertising background, I used to help him in doing like adverts. So it was pretty much like animation. So like stop motions, caricatures. So I was like kind of his production assistant and stuff like that, just seeing what he's doing.
Just picking up.
Exactly. So my profile was pretty much just that and what I did in Raya. And at that point you always add, I was also doing drama. I was also acting in drama in Form 1 and in Form 2,
all the little details.
just to add the pages. You want at least your bio in page 2. It's going to like page 1 solo. So I added all of that stuff.
Nice.
And I mean, at that point, it's by that point, JT Shwado for this interview thing for Italy. So you're like, I'm not losing anything by just saying this. But I was like, I mean, I have a small bio, and considering these are people who want people to go and study in Italy, I mean, they are looking for people with big bios and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So me, I applied. I remember I got a call. Then I don't know how many guys we applied. Then there was a cutoff. Then I think 20 guys were called. We went. Now they did like a one-on-one interview. Then they said, we'll call you guys. Me, I was like, sawa. I mean, I'm not losing anything. Yeah. By this time, I was still working at the insurance company.
Right.
So then I think after some weeks, 1 week, 2 weeks, they called me again. They were like, okay, you've passed this stage, so come for the next stage. So I went, did another interview, Then I think that was pretty much, the last stage. And at that point, I mean, I still didn't know I was going to go through, because I remember when we went for the interviews, I could see some other guys who were like, feel they seemed pro, they knew what they were doing. Some had been in the industry for a longer time and stuff like that. So I was like, anyway, it's Poingiana anyway. I mean, I'm not losing anything. Right. I hadn't planned for that. Like it was never in my dream that after uni, I'm gonna try find schools to go and study film. For my idea was like, and this is from friends I know who are in the industry, my idea was like, the only way you learn this, you learn through the industry app by going being around people and stuff like that. So, but I had a plan of leaving the insurance company, like, going into the creative world.
Okay.
So had like, so I was with the salary that I was getting, I was still living at my folks. So I used to like save some cash so that when it reaches at that point, the camera that was like good for beginners amateur was like a Canon 70D, which was like, I think 85K around that time. So I was saving until when I get like the 85K or whatever, when I buy this camera, that's it. When I have a camera, I think I can, at least unajua ukienda kwa shamba, at least enda na one tool even if it's whatever something. It is. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so I remember the last interview ndio nikapigiwa, you've qualified for Italy. It was a scholarship thing, and you'll be going in, I think it was like April or May.
Wow.
So at that point, it came at that point whereby I was also wanted to resign. I'd given myself time, like in April now I'm leaving, because now April is my birthday, so I was like, I want that to like commemorate me.
Happy belated birthday.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. My birthday was last week. Yeah, so that was my thing.
Right. So it just fell in place together.
Exactly. So everything fell in place at once.
Right.
So now, and I had already saved up.
Yeah.
So now I had this money that I want to buy a camera, and now there's Italy thing that has come up, which was kind of half scholarship.
Okay.
Half scholarship in the sense of if you get it, you just have to find yourself ujipeleke hapo. So this means getting your ticket and you're going there. So the ticket and the food, the food is all on me.
Okay.
Then accommodation and the travels in Italy is all in the school.
That's what you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, just like how can I put it? Like from an African perspective, you're imagining my dad ametumia all this, amensomesha all this time and until 4th year ametumia all this money in uni.
Right.
Now I love my dad alikuwa ameniget this job. Insurance. And getting
that's how the went to Italy.
Exactly, getting job or someone fight your job, then me, my dad, knew the MD or something, ameniget your job. So going to tell this man, by then nimeamua hivi, I think I want to do
something completely different.
Exactly. And no one in my family at that point, like whether it's my cousins, my uncles, my aunts, no one was in the creative world or in the arts world.
Right.
But I had I have aunts who are like, they've made a name for themselves in the IT world.
Okay.
And I was also in that era of when you go and chop comp science because there's work, which is true. Yeah, exactly, which is true. I mean, IT at that point is still big in Africa, but at that point the IT was coming in.
Okay.
So now telling my dad, by then I've decided I wanna go into arts and creative. I mean,
of all industries.
It wasn't something I wanted to do. So what I did, I just told him one day, I got this scholarship thing and I wanna go. And that's it. I didn't want to ask him for money or anything. I wanted it to be on me,
Okay.
So now the money that I was saving for this camera is like it has to go. So I was split. Either you go to Italy now or you buy this camera and stay in Kenya. I was like, okay, no way. I want to go to Italy. So I put all this money that I was saving for my camera now to like the flight tickets and everything. Then when my dad saw I think of course I hadn't told my dad that this is what I've been doing, saving money to live and buy a camera. So actually he's never questioned me till today where I got that money, because what I did is I got a ticket. Then I was like, I have a ticket, I'm going. So what I don't have is like now the money for food spending. So now I think when you saw, okay, this guy is doing this, so I think, okay, let's
push.
Exactly. So now he came through like with some cash for food and stuff like that. Then in May, so I left the job, and in May I was I was out, went to Italy, and very green, landed in Italy. I don't know Italian, so but I studied. I'd studied in Italy I'd studied Italian for so once I passed the interview. So now those guys told us, you need to learn at least Italian. So Apo West through the Italian embassy, they have the Italian Institute of Culture where they teach Italian. So I went there, did like a 2-week course of it. I mean,
a crash course.
How do you learn Italian in 2 weeks, expecting to go and speak like everyone else? But I did. I mean, but it was more of tunafunzwa like just the basics, chao, nini, water, toilet, just say I want to banyo, just the survival things, you know.
Bado nakumbuka?
Yeah, but one or two things I still remember. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, then that's it. Then I found myself in Italy, very green, very new. So in Italy, this program is called Cinema Damari. Cinema Damari means so CI in Italy is pronounced as Chi. So Cinema Damari is C. So it's filming by the sea. So it happens in the summer, and a lot of filming locations are like on the beach, on the seaside, as much as sometimes we went north. So the whole program is an amazing program whereby, you know, filmmaking is a very practical and a very technical,
it's hands-on.
Whereby most of the things actually, and that's the reason, like, most people who learn filmmaking by themselves, you don't learn the theory, you learn being on the field. So now the school was kind of very interesting, because what you do is so they say it's the biggest gathering of young filmmakers in the world. So what happens is, like, there's like we were like 75 students. So out of 75 students, say 30 are Italians, because that's their place. So like the other 40 that's 40 nationalities.
Right.
So there is like Kenyans. So in Africa, you are like Kenya, TZ, and Cairo. I remember we were like, I think 4 Kenyans, 1 Tanzanian, 1 guy from Egypt. Then the other guys are guys from UK, guy from China, US, Russia, any country you can name of. So we all met there. So the whole idea is, and you come with whatever you have, whatever equipment you have, whatever it is, even your laptop as an editor, whatever thing you think you will work, you can be able to make a film. So I think I went with my laptop. That's the only thing that I had, and my brains.
The most important.
Yeah, those 2 things. So I went there. So the whole idea is, you guys, so the first stop is in Rome. You meet in Rome. So what you do is, so for example, is on Monday, say for example, any week on Monday, you are in Rome, you have like a parade thing in the morning, so you're in this new town. So the whole idea is making short films in that specific town. So you're in Rome. Ideally, it's not the whole of Rome, but that town, wherever you are. So you make short films inspired by that town, and working with all the students who are there. So when you're applying, you apply with whatever skill you have. So for example, I remember I applied as a director and actor, because at that time I was still acting. So someone else would apply as a producer. Someone from US would come in as an actor. Someone from Croatia would come in as a sound guy. Someone from Russia would come in as a graphics guy. So like every whatever. So now when you guys meet there, you have a badge, so every it says what you do and stuff like that. So you start making films, and you work with anyone you want. So if I have an idea, if I have a story and I'm a director, maybe I want to work with an Indonesian editor, I want to work with an American actor, I want to work with a Russian graphics guy, that kind of situation. So, and you just make short films pretty much the whole week. Then what happens is, once you finish your short film, you edit, then on Saturday we submit the short films. On average, every week we use, on average, I would say something like 35 short films, plus or minus. So now this is during summer. So on Saturday evening night, Italy, they have this thing called piazzas everywhere. Like they have Italians love going out. They love being out. And especially now, you can imagine during summer they love being out. So now these different piazzas, so the school would mount like a huge ass projector. Then of course they will put chairs and stuff like that, and invite everyone who is from that town to come and watch the films
about their town,
or whatever stuff was made. And Italians also love watching films. They love cinema. They just love being outside and stuff like that. So they would come watch all the 40 films. Then afterwards, there's gonna be like a best director, best actor, best whatever, So then it ends maybe Saturday 11 p.m. or going to midnight. So now once it ends, the projector is forever, everything is put down. So we have like this big double-decker bus where now everyone gets in, and we have like our mattresses and stuff like that. Everyone is just set. Then now we move to the next town. The next town can be, so in, say for example, to give an idea, you've landed in Nairobi. say you've landed in Nairobi and you guys will be staying, say, somewhere in Kilimani. So ideally you're gonna be doing films, maybe if it's Kilimani, Kile, like that. That's the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Then now you move from Kilimani, maybe your next stop is Nax.
Yeah.
You go to Nax, maybe whatever place you're staying, maybe in the gyms, because also that's when schools are closed. So you have the school has access to now the gyms, and you know we have this inflatable mattresses. So we just sleep like randomly. Exactly. So also the thing equalizes everyone. So whether you're from Kenya, from US, it just equalizes everyone.
That's interesting.
Exactly. So now we go to this new town. We arrive, say the bus does like an overnight thing. We arrive, say, like Sunday morning. Prep, nini, you take your mattress, inflate, vibes, just see the town around, nini. Then Monday morning, production meeting in the morning. We're in this new town, so maybe a mayor would come, say what the town is all about, then we are off. Then they tell us, go and make films.
Wow, starts again.
So you do that for how many weeks? From May to end September.
Wow.
Weekly. It reaches a point like you literally it feels fun, but it reaches a point it's insane. You're drained. You are like, wow, it's becoming crazy and stuff like that. So every week. So I would say I traveled the whole of Italy, like literally. And you're going now, of course, now to even Maocha's Italy, all those places. You pretty much go to all those places because that's where also the stories are. I mean, it's not like going to Milan, big cities. No, you're going to like, those Marina de Camerota, Maratea, Matera, Varcelli, those kind of places. So you do that from May all the way to end September. It's so back to back. It's so crazy. And so now the whole idea of it's field work, you're learning as it goes. So I would say I learned so much by being in that situation, because you're meeting people from other developed countries or rather other people who now went to film schools. So they understand everything, and so you hear, when you're on set, you hear them say things. You ask them, okay, why did you do this? Then they tell you, in film school you were taught this is what you should do, this is what you should do, this is what you should place the light. So you learn, you learn as it's going. So that's how, like, I would say I started out as a filmmaker. That was like now the spark.
That's interesting.
So the program ends in September, and so the last stop is in Venice. So it ends in Venice because that week is when Venice Film Festival starts. So it coincides with that. And that program is so big because it has like some funding with the government. It has like some connections with Venice Film Festival. So it's not like some random school is coming. It's a thing.
Proper thing,